Oh, let me come Badgers. Brian the Bold here. And today we're going to do a review on Star Wars Battlefront, the Outer Rim DLC. Now, everyone has been hearing me that I've been complaining so much about Star Wars Battlefront, how it is literally a 12-minute demo that we spent $60 for. But you know what? You can spend another $50 to wait until next year, early January, hopefully, to wait to finally get the real Star Wars Battlefront. But until then, we're going to have to deal with the Outer Rim DLC, and by the end of this video, we're going to make a conclusion to either this: was buying the DLC or the Season Pass worth it for the Star Wars Battlefront Outer Rim DLC? Now let's get started with the weapons that come with Star Wars Battlefront, the Outer Rim DLC. I'm gonna stop repeating that. I'm just gonna say Outer Rim. Alright, so we get 2 pistols and 2 marksman rifles. One acts like a sniper rifle and one is a targeting rifle. If you don't know what a targeting rifle is, then check out the T21B. That is a targeting rifle. For those of you who don't know how to complete that mission to get the ROV-10V, that is how you get it with the T21B. That is the targeting rifle, and so is the ROV-10V, which is the targeting rifle that you would like to get. That weapon has decent damage on it. On long ranges, it can be pretty decent. Fair warning for all of you, half of these weapons that you get, which is 4, is all semi-automatic, so you're going to have to work on that trigger button or else you're going to die pretty quickly. And so, the ROV is the automatic one as well, not the automatic, semi-automatic, so get that trigger finger working. And then you get the DLT-19X. Now you just take the DLT-19, take some modifications to it, and add an X to the name, and you got yourself a new weapon, because this one is a sniper rifle. Is it decent? Technically it is, because you can get some shots in. It's a one-shot kill practically if you get the chest and above, I believe. If you get any of the legs, I think it's almost the health. It almost acts like the cycler rifle, only except I believe it does better damage than the cycler rifle. And then you get the DL-18, which is a pistol used by Luke Skywalker, which he disarms a guard in Episode 6. And if many of you who watches the Star Wars Rebel series, Kanan uses the DL-18. Now the DL-18 is also a semi-automatic pistol. Now don't let that fool you. It is nothing like the DL-44, because I believe it is way better, because EA really nerfed the DL-44, and it kind of got really bad. I never liked it in the first place, but the DL-44 is not that well now, so try to use other weapons as well. But if you know how to use it, don't let me stop you. Yeah, with the right hands, if you're using it correctly, you can cause a lot of damage to it. But I personally believe it's not worth it. But the DL-18 though, it shoots way faster. So if you can just click a lot of times, it will shoot really fast and cause a lot of damage and kill a lot of enemies, and this just cause total mayhem on the battlefield as well. And then the final weapon that is my favorite as well, I really like the pistols that came with this game, with the DLC. And my favorite weapon is the DT-12, which many of you, if you're big Star Wars fans, may know that the infamous Greedo uses that gun, and it is really good. Now this almost acts like the DL-44, only except it shoots a little bit faster and it does better damage for now. Now all of these weapons have not been through any buffs or nerfs, so before you say, hey, that's not true after a buff, I'm just telling you now, this is just like pre-made right now, so like just came out, so don't worry. Could have done a review earlier, but I apologize as well. Now many of you have been asking for star cards, correct? Of course, we get star cards, and we get let me start talking to a star card called the Scattergun. The Scattergun acts like a shotgun, but except in it's a star card form, and the good thing about it is that it can go through personal shields. Now personal shields went through a lot of went through a lot of changes, but I'll talk about later. Right now we're with the star cards. Technically it's a star card, but the Scattergun is a really good thing, and not only does it penetrate shields, but it also has good range. You may be asking yourself, no, a shotgun doesn't have good range. No, this one does. EA kind of slipped the gun with the range with this little sucker. So if I were you, try to get this first and use it as much as possible to get as much kills, and also get the black version of it, because you know there's the white star cards and the black star cards, and then you have the lovely the Dioxis grenade. Pretty sure I mispronounced it, but I call it the Dioxis grenade, which is just a imagine a smoke grenade, only except it causes damage over time. Yes, that is the Dioxis grenade. Nothing much to say there, besides it's actually pretty decent if used correctly. Now we have another thing that kind of acts like a stim pack if you're big fans of Fallout 4, which is called the I forgot what it was, I apologize, but what it does is that it gives you health. So you're low on health and you really need to get back into the battle quickly. You can click the triangle button and to get health almost immediately. You just have to be careful not to get shot again. Then your health will regenerate really quickly. And then what else do we have in the DLC? I believe we also get the Dioxis grenade, check. The scattergun, check. I'm kind of forgetting right now what else we got. I think those are all the things that we got so far. As for the weapons and tech for Star Wars Battlefront for the DLC, I believe I'm trying to think for another thing, but let's talk about the changes that also went through the Battlefront DLC. If I figure it out, I'll tell you. We also get a power up. You know, power ups from the you know, those little power ups that you see on the battlefield. We get one called an ion disruptor. Now, personally, I do not like using them, but earlier before I showed you a little clip of me using it. I only used it that time for just to show you. I just believe that in Star Wars lore it's kind of dishonorable to use it, because like it committed such huge genocide for a species in Star Wars Rebels. So it's like, I don't like using it because I love them. So not in that way. But yes, they have that in the game, and all you need to do, it acts almost like a rocket launcher, only except I believe it does more damage, and you have to charge it first. You can't even shoot it if it's not charged fully. So once you charge it fully, it will be good. Now since we're on this clip with Vader, let me tell you, Vader got buffed really good. His health increased, so now he's like a tank. His lightsaber throw cooldown went down, decreased, which is good. I think it went down from 8 seconds to 7 seconds, so that's a lot as well. Anything else changing with him? I think he did, but overall he became a better character. Now many of you may know that Luke Skywalker himself got nerfed because his movement speed was decreased slightly. They said that it was not that noticeable. It was kind of noticeable. He used to be really fast, but now it's not that, you know, fast anymore. And also his health went down as well. So I think they did that just to complement with Lord Vader versus Luke Skywalker, because you know Darth Vader's slow and Luke Skywalker is faster. Now with the personal shields, they went through buffs and nerfs, and the team shields as well. The buffs is that you can no longer throw grenades at people with shields, and are in shields and team shields. So if you try to shoot them with a rocket or throw a grenade at their face, so an impact grenade will no longer be effective against someone with a shield. So you have to think of another way to use it to actually kill them. So I guess wait, or use the scattergun, because the scattergun is really good at dispatching people with shields if you hate those bubble people. But the bad thing is, which is really not my favorite thing they did this, is that you can no longer use your jetpack or use any weapons whatsoever while in a bubble. Now, you may ask me if you couldn't even use weapons as well. No, I'm talking about grenades. You can no longer throw grenades, which is so sad, because that used to be like my prime to do, just to throw weapons. And then if the going gets tough, I use my shield and use my jetpack to get out of there. But you can no longer do that, which sucks. So gotta be careful with that. But another thing that EA added to the game, which was requested by the team, not the team but the community, was rolling. Now the bad thing about rolling is that I haven't seen that many people use it. So if I were you, I mean, it's kind of a cool feature, but not a lot of people use it. And the bad thing about it is that you can only roll sideways, which is not that great. And I wish they would have done something else with that. Maybe regular rolling fronts, backward, sideways, not just sideways. We need to do rolling, people. Come on, give us what we want. But of course, let's go back to the maps. The maps are 4. They're only small maps. They don't. This DLC does not contain big maps. So if you haven't bought it yet and you expect to get big maps in this DLC, let me disappoint you right now and save you some time. If you're not looking for small maps, this DLC does not come with big maps. That doesn't say for the other DLCs that will be the same, but I'm guessing they're doing that so that they don't separate the community. Even though they're adding different maps, they're not adding big maps so that a lot of people can have the same maps. I believe that they're gonna add the big maps and free updates, which is not that bad. I mean, it's pretty good that EA is thinking about the community this time. And so the 4 maps are 2 from Solist, but they pertain in the Solist factories that the Imperial army makes their machinery and deadly weapons of war. And then we have 2 maps from Jabba's Palace, which is really good. The 2 maps from Jabba's Palace are the Palace Garage and obviously Jabba's Palace. Now, the Solist maps that contain are 2, obviously, and they are the I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. Sorub platforms and Sorub factory, which I'm not sure if it's actually called factory, but you know, it's pretty dank and cool. Now, since we are on heroes versus villains, we will talk about this now. And now, if you have the DLC, you are now able to play 4v4 heroes versus villains. So you get to play as Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Boba Fett, and Greedo, the new hero. And on the hero side, you will be able to play as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and you guessed it, Liam Neeson. Oh my goodness. No, it's Niam Nub. There's a lot of confusion on how to pronounce his name. I pronounce it Niam Nub. Some people, I think the official pronunciation is Niam Nub. I have no idea. It's really complicated. It's really weird as well. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Kind of. And so, let's talk about the 2 new heroes that came with the update, with the DLC. And so right here we have Greedo, and his power-ups for the triangle. You hold it down to use a scan pulse that will tell everyone in the radius to see where you go, and to see where they're going. And then you have a progression. The first time in Battlefront for a hero is a progression thing, where you see the I think it's L2 or L1. No, L1. If you use that while attacking people, so if you go out with this character, you have to be aggressive, but you have to be careful because Greedo does not have a lot of health. He's like a paperweight mache. I don't know if that was something, but if you shoot a lot of people in a simultaneous amount of time and without, stop fighting, then your grenades will change. So first off, he starts off with a Dioxis grenade, and then he starts with a regular detonator, and then you have the impact grenade, and then you have the thermal imploder, which it sounds really cool, and you're about to hear it in a little bit, but it sounds really awesome. Did you hear it? It's cool. It's really cool. And then you have one that's called First Shot. I think it's called First Shot. I think someone else told me it was First Shot, but they're really wanting to piss off their fans, don't they? I bet they do. I mean, that's just what they do. It's just to piss off the fans. But you know what? It's fine, because Greedo is a really good character. If I were you, run as fast as possible. He's actually the fastest hero in the game. So use his speed and his damage wisely. Don't think of him as a heavy character. Think of him as a support, but also very aggressive character, because you have to play him very aggressively or else he won't be as effective. So that's the precision shot. First shot, it just circles around anyone in the range, and if they don't get out of the range, you will unleash a horrendous amount of damage. Now, to Neum Nub. I don't think I have any gameplay of Neum Nub, so I apologize. But I can tell you a lot of things about Neum Nub. I played as him. So I'll know what I'll be talking about. And so with Neum Nub, he has 3, obviously. One of which is the turret. The turret is actually pretty decent because it has explosive shot. And it also is a progressive system with that. And it also gets upgraded. Now his power-ups do vary, so if you use them in the big maps, oh, I almost forgot, you can use anything you have if you have the DLC on regular maps, so don't worry, this will not only pertain for Outer Rim, you can use it in the maps that already came with, so you can use the base maps and you'll be fine. But back to Neum Nub, he has 2 different kinds of power-ups for each. So he has a different one for the big map, and he has a different one for the small map. And so he has for the small maps little mines that we all can use. I forgot what it was called, so I apologize. But yes, you can use mines. And you can just throw them right there, and I think you can throw up to 4 mines, and then they'll be fine. And then for the big maps, you can also use, no, you can't use those. You can use a orbital strike, so that's pretty cool. And then what was the other? Oh yes, a sniper. You also get a sniper with Neum Nub. So if you're not a really big fan of the pulse cannon, you're gonna have to suck it up, because actually what the pulse cannon is actually pretty cool with Neum Nub, because even though you still have to charge it, it's a really fast charge. I think it's around 1 second that you have to charge it, unless the around 3 seconds or 4 seconds, no, around 3 or 2 seconds to charge the regular pulse cannon as well. So those are the heroes in the game. Now, let's talk about the game mode that came with the game, which is called Extraction. This is the game mode Extraction, where the rebel side has to get the secret storage stuff, or whatever they're holding in that little weird tarp. So you have to take that tarp with the secret parts or whatever to the extraction point, which you have 3 extraction points so far in the game. They haven't added every single extraction point. They haven't added every extraction point in the map. So I'm not saying that correctly. They haven't added extraction to every map so far in the small maps. So I think they're gonna change that later. But right now, I don't think they've done that. But with extraction, you know, as the rebels, you need to take that. You need to take your cargo and take it all the way through 3 parts. Now, with the hero system here, the rebels get to have 2 heroes, and they can be alive at the same time. So, if your team uses your heroes wisely, at the end of the game, you could possibly have 2 heroes. Now, for the villains, they actually are not so fortunate with the heroes. They only get 1 hero. So they get it around the 2nd round and the 3rd round, but the rebels get it right off the bat. But the Empire really has to be careful when they use the heroes, because they really do matter, and they really do help pushing back the rebels. Now with the Empire side, it's kind of obvious, is that you need to stop their cargo from reaching the extraction point, as that poor little stormtrooper tried to do. And also, you know, as I said before, the Imperial soldiers get to have a hero, but they can only have 1. But if your hero dies at the 2nd round, don't worry, you still have an opportunity to get 1. So the 2nd and 3rd round, you'll be able to get 1, but your villain has to die first to be able to get the hero from the 3rd round. So the Imperials only have 1 villain, and the rebels have 2 lovely little heroes. So far, Extraction Point is really fun as well. And also, as you can see, the little tarp, whatever, has a personal shield, so you can use that to your best advantage and try to defend your people and your personal self against the people. So is there anything else I'm missing that I need to tell you? Oh, of course, technically this didn't come with the DLC, but there's something called HUT contracts. If you don't know what a HUT contract is, let me tell you. HUT contracts allows you to buy contracts from Jabba the Hutt himself and work your way through your weapons. So are you expecting to get your weapons unlocked easily? You're not. So you'll be able to use the HUT contracts at level 12 or 13. But hot contracts, you have to complete special objectives to finally get your weapon. So first off, you have to buy the contract, and then you can get the objectives ready to go. Some have 2, some have 3, but so far you can get the Dioxis grenade, all the weapons that came with the update as well. And I apologize if I said that all the weapons came from the DLC. I believe 2 weapons did not come from the DLC. I forgot which one, so I apologize. I believe the weapons that didn't come in the DLC, the paid version, was the DL18, no, the DL19X, I think, and the DH17, I think. I apologize if I'm incorrect, but I think that's how it works. But yes, the hot contracts allows you to get stuff. So if you want to upgrade, say, the scattergun, you would have to complete another hot contract. Yes, I know, that is actually, I actually didn't like that. I would have preferred to pay to get it, but I think to get the black version of the card, it would be like 8,000 credits, and then to just, you know, try to get that as well. So I mean, it's pretty decent. I like the cut contracts. They actually give me something to do instead of just unlocking all of them. So good for you, EA. And then you have the cap system. The cap system, you know, is obviously level 50, 60, 20, and actually they got a cap, increase cap, which was level 60. Now, when you get to level 60, a new character on the rebel side will be waiting for you. Do you remember those ugly little son of a guns from episode 6? When Jabba was using his bodyguards? Yes, those are the Waboos. Waboos. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yes, the Waboos will be making an entrance at Star Wars Battlefront. So far, I have not seen a level 60 person yet, but I will make sure I will tell you. But yes, he actually looks pretty impressive and really cool. Now, I believe I've covered everything so far in the DLC. If I haven't, please tell me so that I can you know, correct myself on Twitter or something. And I apologize, this is not as accurate as I wanted it to be. I couldn't find the information on the Star Wars website because, you know, I was using the iPad version of it, so I apologize. For the next 3 or so days, I'll probably do a World of Tanks video review talking about the update they did with the whole weather system. So hopefully you guys will like this. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and if you liked it, give it a like, support the Red Guard, and this is Brian the Bold signing out.
Push the Imperials back. We need to get that shipment moving.